us in the dark. Touch my skin but miss the mark. Silent sighs we share a bed. Words you say stay in my head. You hold me close yet feel so far. Different beats.
So it is the weekend before Natalie and I are leaving for Kentucky, and I am on anti-duty this weekend. So Natalie has a very busy weekend of work and family commitments. So I am looking after Mickey, and I'm also going to ride him. So last night we both went out in the evening and had a little ride. We were gonna go on a hack, but the weather was just weird. Like, it wasn't raining, but there was just a lot of clouds and it was really, really dark. And it was just a little bit spooky. So we ended up just riding in the arena. Merlin was really, really good. I didn't get any footage. It was my first time in a while doing like a proper flat school. And there were some canter pulls set out. So I did like a proper warm up and a little bit of trot work. And then I wanted to kind of work on his responses to my seat aids, because when I jumped him last weekend, he was quite strong, and I think I talked about that in the video. I've learned really well how to use my seat to control speed and length of stride on the flat, but I still kind of revert to my old riding when I'm jumping. So I kind of, as a test for myself, pointed him at some canter poles and used my seat rather than my hand to control the speed, and it went really, really well. And he listened, and he didn't hit the right stride every time, but that's fine because he was hitting the stride that I was asking him to hit. So sometimes I saw a half stride and I asked him to wait, and he still waited and hit the half stride. So it was really good. Today it's going to be really nice out. Tomorrow it's going to be more cloudy with a little bit of rain. So today I'm going to take them both for a trail ride. Hopefully, well, Mickey we're going to try. He hasn't been on the trail that much. When Natalie and I took him on the back, like on the trail that's off property last weekend, that was his first time. So I'm going to take him around the property, and if he's feeling brave, I might take him out onto the road, but I want to take him out through our little trail loop first, and then Merlin will hopefully do the full shebang. My goal is to get both of them done in 3 hours. We'll see what happens. It's 11:31 and I'm headed out there now, and then tomorrow both of them will do a flat school, and that'll probably be my last time out at the barn until after Kentucky. But anyways, I hope that you enjoy this kind of weekend in the life, because I think it'll be a fun one. So I was going to start with Mr. Mickey, but his feet need longer to soak, so hi buddy. I'll start with Merlin. Guys together, aren't you two? Hi you. Let's go. So this will be Merlin's first solo hack or trail ride since we had our little blip last week, just over a week ago, where I had to get off and whatever. So we're going to see if that made a difference. There's some kind of big machinery on the road, so I'm just letting him stand and listen. The fall colors are finally starting to grace us with their presence. Some pretty reds and oranges there. So we will see how far we make it. So we got to the head of the trail and he was like, nope. So when he's off, we're gonna get back on once we're a little bit further up. Oh, you have a hat. You have a bit of a hat. I think I'm gonna end up turning around because I see a turkey up here too. Doing some in-hand stuff isn't bad. No. And now we are back on and forward and willing. Not sure about the sound of the corn rustling. Good boy. Gonna do some trusting? Yeah, good. So much more confident out here, aren't you? Yeah, that's a good man. So I don't think we're gonna bring Mickey down here. I think it would blow his brain a little bit. How gorgeous is this? Good boy. Good boy. Good man. Hey boys. Oh. Is it your turn, Mouse? Is it your turn? He looks so cute as a jumper pony. This will be like my 5th or 6th time riding Mickey, but my first time riding him without Natalie here. And I don't know if like he's ever been ridden without Natalie there before, so we will see. Very sleepy. We're just gonna go for a nice leisurely walk. Good boy. I think with him, I'm going to suss out how spooky he may or may not be today by starting with a lap around the track. He apparently turns into a different horse in the fall and he gets quite spooky, so we will see. It's quite windy today and I don't want to like overface him. So we have been once around the track and he's being very, very good. He's also feeling a lot more warmed up. When you get on, he always feels a little bit stiff. So now we're gonna do a little trail loop out front, and then if he's still being good and brave, I'll take him on the little trail loop out back. Good boy, we're feeling a little bit more alert. Good boy. Yeah, no, you don't get to ride in the hayfield. Gotta go this way. Come on. Mickey. Mickey's just kind of standing and having a moment. It's so funny to ride him after riding Merlin because Merlin has such a big stride and is so forward that Mickey feels ridiculously slow. I know. It's like when you get on, yeah, he is a bit slow because he's warming up his joints and his muscles, but after Merlin's like what I call a racehorse walk, or like a, you know, the big powerful warm blood walk that like your hip flexors feel like they're gonna come out because they're moving so much. Mickey's like nice chill walk is a welcome change. And you're being so good, aren't you? Good boy, Mouse. Thrilled with how good he's being. We did some trot out front and it's the most like forward and lovely he's felt. Like he had some lovely push from his hind end and like straight from the start. There was no bit where he was feeling a little bit stiff. Like he felt wonderful. I wish I could have gotten some of it on my pivot, but alas, I am alone today. And now we're going on to the trail. He's been to this part before, so it's the bit through the woods that are quite tight that I'm not sure what he'll think. What I find about Mickey is when he's a little bit unsure, his walk slows right down. So like he's barely moving. He doesn't feel tense or nervous or anything. He's just like really slow. And he gets like that when he's a little unsure. I'm gonna see if we can make a fake GoPro out of my phone by putting it in the waistband of my pants. Good boy. You can stop and walk at any, or stop and halt at any time. Good man. I know. He's like, I really don't know about this, Auntie. I don't know. He doesn't feel like he's going to explode. He just feels insecure. There's some wind, so we're going to listen to the noise. Good boy. Natalie told me that he's never been the most confident horse hacking on his own. The fact that he's willing to go forward is wonderful, and even if he needs to stop and think every 20 steps, I really don't care. Good man. Oh, well done. Good boy. Oh, brave. So brave. Now you gotta watch your feet in here because there are some rocks. Can you come out here just a little bit? Farm equipment seems to have gone away, or it's further back, so we'll try. Now I'm walking him on the grass because it's much easier on his feet, even with the boots on. He's got thin soles. Just trying to make it a little bit easier for him. Now, watch your feet. Yes. Good boy, Mouse. You're all right, buddy. You're all right. Good boy. Yeah, they're clearing the field, so I'm not going to do the full trail. I'm just going to go up to where the trail becomes grassy, and then we'll quit. You know what? I hear the equipment coming, so I'm going to quit while we're ahead. I didn't even think we'd get here today. It's so funny with farm equipment. It sounds like it's far away, and then I think they're doing fields like way back, but I don't want to chance anything. He's been so good, and I think this has been a really good experience for him, so I don't want to like spoil it by making him go on too long. Can you do some trot on here? Yeah? Boy. And look who's coming to greet him at the gate. Now the question is Mickey going to shoo Merlin away? Or is he going to be nice? We know who's boss. We know who's bigger, but the biggest one is almost never the boss. So both boys were absolutely awesome. I'm particularly happy with Mickey. He was so brave. He felt so wonderful. I tried my jump saddle on him and he was like the most forward and free that I felt him. So I'll be interested to get Natalie to try him in it just to see what she thinks. I know that she's looking at potentially getting a new saddle and is thinking about getting a close contact. Anyways, onward to tomorrow. So it is Sunday now and I'm aiming to do Merlin's feet today. I'm not sure how much footage I'm actually going to be able to get because the barn is quite busy. Well, there's people here, so I'll set my pivot up and we'll see what happens. I think Merlin, I'm gonna ride in the arena and just do like a stretchy walk, trot, canter ride. Might work on some poles. So we've got some pivot footage, so you know what that means. It's voiceover time. So I didn't have any huge expectations for this ride with Merlin. We warmed up by going over some poles and going over the bridge, which he actually was pretty good with straight from the start. He's been over it quite a few times now and he doesn't really care. The first time he went over it and he felt it move because it does have a little bit of a tilting effect to it. He was a little unsure, but he didn't jump or anything. He was just like, okay. So here I'm just working on some walk to trot transitions and things like that, making sure he stays in contact. I was really happy that he picked up his first canter transitions to the right. I mentioned recently that he's been having some issues with that lead, and as time goes on he's starting to pick it up more and more consistently on the first try, which is great. So I basically did the same thing on this day that I had done on the Friday, which I talked about at the beginning of the video, and just went through these canter poles, asking him to wait for the stride that I see and focusing on using my body to ask him to wait rather than using my hands. And then his good way, which is to the left, I decided to start working on some walk to canter transitions for the first time in a little while. We've never yet gotten a super clean transition, but the amount of trot steps that it's taking us to get there is slowly getting less and less. So then we just basically did the same pole exercise the other way. This way he found a lot easier, or I found easier to find the stride, and we basically hit it every time, which was great. So I didn't do it as many times. And we finished off by doing some stretchy trot, which he absolutely loves. And I must admit, looking at him here, his trot is just so dreamy and floaty. I was very pleased with him. He was a very good boy. So I'm done with Mr. Merlin and I'm now out with Mr. Mouse going around the track to warm up. Merlin was very good. He offered some really beautiful trot work. He was lovely and soft in the hand. He's going through a period of canter where he kind of like bears down onto the forehand rather than carrying himself, because it's easier to go on the forehand than it is to sit and carry himself through his core. I was asking him just to sit. What are you looking at? Basically did the same thing with Merlin today that I did on Friday. You're fine. Oh my goodness. You are absolutely fine. I don't know what you're seeing, but you're fine. What is it you see? Oh, I know. It was just this windy yesterday, so I don't know why we're spooky today. Huh? Can we walk on now? No, you're not turning back. You're not turning back. Mickey. He really does not want to go past there, so I'm going to honor what he wants. So if you've been a regular viewer of my recent videos, you will have seen the kind of walk warm-up suppling that I've done with Mickey the last few times I've ridden him, so I don't need to go through that. But I was really pleased with how he was feeling. As always, with his arthritis and his hind end issues, I wanted to make sure that he was properly warmed up his good way at the trot before I went the other way. And I must say, I mean, obviously there's some inconsistency in the contact here, so his head's going up and down a little bit, but he just felt so incredible and forward. And this was my first time riding him in the sand ring. Previously I had ridden him out on the grass because that was the kind of footing that he seemed to be most comfortable in. And in a lot of his work over the last few months, he's done a lot of straight lines and quick transitions to try to build up his strength and stamina. So I think this was one of the first times that he'd actually done some large ovals and extended periods of trot, and he just felt incredible. So then it was time to go to the left, which is the way that he has a bit more pronounced stiffness under saddle. saddle. And when I've ridden him recently, I've focused more on the quality of the transition and the quality of the steps than the duration of the steps. So for the first few transitions, that might only be 6 to 10 steps, and that's absolutely fine. Now, I want to use this opportunity to chat a little bit about horses with physical issues, because I think so often we disregard them and we set them aside and we stop exercising them and we retire them, which I think can actually quite often lead to them deteriorating quicker than if they had stayed in work. Mickey, for example, has arthritis, and it's my experience that horses with arthritis start to get sore and stiff and incredibly uncomfortable the minute that they stop moving. So not only does he seem to really enjoy coming in to be ridden, but him staying in work and building up a base level of fitness and strength and top line will actually help him stay healthier and happier for longer. And as you can see from the clip that's about to come up, he feels incredibly well and a bit spunky at the moment. He surprised me a lot here. And it was only the fact that I have spent my entire life riding incredibly spooky and unpredictable horses that I managed to stay on. So we came in and we just finished with a little bit of trot his good way. So as is the case with 95% of my videos nowadays, I forgot to film an outro. So if you enjoyed, don't forget to hit the subscribe button, comment down below, and leave a like, because it really does help me out. And I will see you next time with the video from mine and Natalie's very, very fun trip to Kentucky.